Naruto, Hyuga member awakens godly Tenseigan. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 21. Outside of Class A spectacular scene was taking place. As soon as I enrolled in the school, I was punished to stand collectively. There was no one in the entire classroom. Even Narashikuhiza and Namikaze Minato were among them. Narashikuhiza was drawn by Yamanaka Keiichi and Akamichi Dinza. And Namikaze Minato, because he was a little embarrassed to find that he was alone in the classroom, so he spontaneously followed him to the penalty station. Don't be so depressed. After you become great ninjas in the future, maybe this scene will become a good memory. Isn't it just fighting? It's nothing, young and not frivolous. Why do you talk about autumn cool when you are old? Hyuga Chen said indifferently. Chen, you guy has a good mentality. Nawaki lowered his head. If I become Hokage, this will be my stain. Nawaki, don't worry, it's okay. Anyway, by looking at you, you know that you can't become Hokage. Hyuga Chen comforted. Looking at Hyuga Chen who hit him, Nawaki really wanted to choke him to death. Ignoring Nawaki's murderous gaze, Hyuga Chen turned to look at Mikoto. Mikoto, you are so kind to me, risking being punished by the teacher, and pleading for me. I really like you. I. Looking at the gazes of the 8 trigrams of the people around, Mikoto gave Hyuga Chen angrily, then lowered his head. Seeing Mikoto shy and crying, Hyuga Chen suddenly didn't dare to molest Mikoto, and then looked at Hyuga Hizashi. Hizashi. You said I should beat you, or should I beat you? In front of everyone, Hyuga Hizashi didn't want to lose face, and said forcefully, this matter has something to do with you, and I didn't say anything wrong. Okay. I won't say more nonsense, save money, and avoid disaster. Hyuga Chen stretched out his hand. After thinking about it for a while, Hyuga Hizashi skillfully took out 10,000 taels and dealt with Hyuga Chen's hands. Hyuga Chen, you actually bullied my brother. Seeing Hyuga Chen extorting his brother, Hyuga Hayashi became angry. Why do you speak so awkwardly? He obviously gave it to me voluntarily. Hizashi, don't you say it? Hyuga Chen gave Hizashi a threatening look. Hizashi, don't be afraid, brother, I will support you. Hizashi looked at his elder brother who was about the same strength as him, then looked at Hyuga Chen who slammed him, and then shamelessly gave in. Big brother, don't worry about it. I gave it to him voluntarily. You. Pointing to Hizashi, Hayashi couldn't say a word, snorted coldly at Hyuga Chen, and then sulked by himself. Read more at hauntnovel.xyz. 12,000, really rich. Nawaki looked at the paper money in Hyuga Chen's hand enviously. As the heir to the Senju family, you will appreciate this little money. Hyuga Chen glanced at him contemptuously. Oh. The old lady took all my pocket money to gamble. I have enough money to buy a bowl of ramen, which is the cheapest. Nawaki took out his wallet and poured out a 50 silver dollar. Said sadly. That brother, you are really poor. Hyuga Chen forgot Nawaki sympathetically. He forgot Tsunade just now, it was really a misstep. Soon the teacher Ueno Shuli came back, looking at the group of people who were being punished, a look of helplessness flashed in his eyes. Give me back. If there is such a thing next time, I will be severely punished. Punishment is impossible. Most of these people have deep backgrounds. Fortunately, Uchiha Ken is fine. Back in the classroom, Ueno Shuli glared at everyone, and then began to talk about some precautions. It is impossible to start the class directly after entering the school. The class will be officially started tomorrow. Today, the main purpose is to let the students understand the regulations of the Genin school. I don't know much about today's matter, but this matter has passed. If something like this happens in the future, don't blame me for being merciless. In the end, Ueno Kuri mentioned what happened today again. Yes, there were a few sparse responses below, and most of them were sleeping on their stomachs. Watching this scene, a tic-tac-toe appeared on Ueno's forehead. Oh. Forget it, now it's just enrolled, I don't care about you, but I will dare to do this tomorrow, all will go to the training ground for me to stop. After school was over, Hyuga Chen looked up and looked at Mikoto's invitation and said, Mikoto, would you like to go to dinner with me? I'm a treat. You treat me, I want to go too. Nawaki, with very good ears, suddenly ran to Hyuga Chen's table. Looking at this light bulb, Hyuga Chen smiled helplessly, and then said, okay. Today, I invited the whole class to dinner at the Konoha barbecue restaurant. Anyone who wants to come can come. Okay. Chen, you friend, I'm settled. Dingzhua stood up excitedly. Mikoto is going to save face. Yeah. Mikoto nodded and responded in a low voice. Only a few people in Class A did not respond, And even the two brothers Hyuga Hayashi and Hyuga Hizashi nodded in agreement. When he arrived at the rotisserie, Nawaki shouted, "Boss! Prepare a large private room for us." "Okay. For the sake of you are all children, I will give you a 70% discount." The boss wanted to give you a 30% discount, but after seeing Hyuga Chen, he changed his mind decisively. After arriving in the private room, Hyuga Chen began to order things, first of all, roast meat and vegetables, and first served 50 dishes. "Hey! Although we are crowded, Dingza is better able to eat, but there is no need to eat so much." Yamanaka Kaichi, who has remained silent all the time, said. "That's right, Chen, if you can't eat it, it's wasted. These will cost a lot of money." Mikoto also persuaded. "Don't worry. You don't know how much he can eat." Hyuga Chen said before Nawaki said. Sure enough, afterwards, even the big foodie Akamichi Dingza admired Hyuga Chen. When it was almost over, Mikoto stretched out his hand and said in a voice that only the two of them could hear, "Chen, you have enough money." "If you don't have enough money, I have a lot here." Hyuga Chen chuckled softly, then reached out and stroked Mikoto's head, and then laughed in a low voice, "Don't worry. I have a lot of money, it's enough to support you." "Humph. Ignore you." Mikoto blushed and lowered his head, picked up a glass of juice and drank it to hide the shyness on his face. After eating, it was already evening, and the students all left. After bidding farewell to Mikoto and Nawaki, Hyuga Chen, Hyuga Hayashi and Hyuga Hizashi went back together. During the period, Hyuga Hayashi's serious face didn't answer at all, and Hyuga Chen, who felt bored, naturally talked to Hyuga Hizashi. But Hyuga Hizashi has some fear of Hyuga Chen, which makes Hyuga Chen a little boring. After returning to the Hyuga family, Hyuga Chen and the Hyuga brothers, the two boring guys, went back to their homes separately. Episode 22. Back home, took a shower, and then Hyuga Chen lifted the shadow clone. A feeling of fatigue surged into his heart, causing Hyuga Chen to shake and almost fell to the ground. It's a forbidden technique, and most people really can't use it. Lying on the bed to rest, Hyuga Chen sat up. During this time, he has learned all the ninjutsu given by Tsunade, including 100 healings mark. However, Hyuga Chen did not change the 100 healings mark, so there was no diamond mark on the forehead, but on the chest. And it is not a diamond mark, but 3-go jade similar to 3-tomo Sharingan. Because I feel that the purple diamond-shaped mark is really too damn, it may look good on a woman, but it is a bit wrong on a man. After a one-night rest, early the next morning, Hyuga Chen continued to release Shadow Clone, let them practice ninjutsu, and simplified the 80 God airstrikes. It has been a year, and Hyuga Chen has also found some ideas. The 80 God airstrike is actually similar to the 8 trigrams air palm, but Hyuga Chen does not have the 8 trigrams air palm. It is impossible to use it just because you have seen Hokage, otherwise the Hyuga family's physical skills are too cheap. Therefore, it is very difficult to simplify the 80 God airstrike. At least every 2 or 3 years, it is impossible. This is because there are so many shadow clones. After eating breakfast, set up your ninja, exercise your body, and go to school. After coming to school, Hyuga Chen realized that he was the best one. Even Uchiha Jian, who was beaten into a coma yesterday, came earlier than Hyuga Chen. "Why are you so early? Didn't it take 8:30 for class?" Hyuga Chen asked suspiciously. "Oh. I was forced by these two guys. I really want to sleep well. Going to school is really troublesome." Lujio said lazily. "This is the first class. In order to become the goal of Naruto, how can you relax? Chen, you are too loose to become a powerful ninja." Nawaki said dissatisfied. "My goal is also to become Hokage. I have to work hard together." Minato gave Nawaki a sunny smile. Seeing the scene, Hyuga Chen suddenly felt a bit of chills. The two will not collide with any passionate sparks. Not daring to think about it anymore, Hyuga Chen walked quickly to his seat, then greeted Mikoto, and lay down on the table to purify chakra. Now Hyuga Chen's goal is to improve the purity of chakra. This is also the fastest way for Hyuga Chen to increase his strength. Is Chen tired? Mikoto tilted his head and thought, but did not disturb Hyuga Chen. Read more at hauntnovel.xyz. Soon the teacher Ueno Kuri came, and Mikoto saw that the teacher was coming and stretched out his hand to Hyuga Chen. "Chen, don't sleep, the teacher is here," Mikoto whispered. Hyuga Chen opened his eyes and raised his head. Hyuga Chen, who owns observation hockey, has actually sensed that the Ueno tree is coming, but he still thanked Mikoto. "Thank you, Mikoto. It's okay." Mikoto smiled, sweet and touching. Hyuga Chen looked slightly stunned, and said in his heart, "Mikoto's smile is so beautiful, it completely stuns me, am I a lolicon? Bump. Bump. Ueno Kumi knocked on the blackboard twice, and then said, "Today is your first class and the beginning of your ninja career. In the next 5 years, I hope you can study seriously. The real ninja is not the ninja game you play. Although I shouldn't tell you this now, I still want to say it. After you become a ninja, you will bleed at any time and you will even die. You have not experienced the cruelty of the road of a ninja. It is difficult for you to understand now. So I hope you can listen to the class well. Listen carefully now, it may save your life in the future." Ueno Kuri said earnestly. But looking at the people with hippie smiles below, Ueno Kuri knew no one was listening. Oh. Ueno Kuri sighed, and he knew it was. These little guys who didn't really understand ninjas only thought about becoming a hero every day, and never thought about the danger of ninjas. I hope you won't regret it in the future. We started the first lesson of the tutorial, that is, how to refine chakra. Chakra is the root of ninjas. Whether it is a ninja, or a phantom, you don't want to leave chakra. Hearing that it was teaching chakra refining techniques, all the students from these families were not interested. Except for the gentle Makoto, who was still listening attentively, the rest of the students from the family were all entertained. Only those students of civilian origin who have not been in contact with chakra are still listening carefully. Ueno Kumi laughed bitterly. There was no way. This was the advantage of the family ninja, but he had to talk about these things, otherwise what would the common ninja do? Students who have chakra can also listen to it, just don't want to listen, and don't affect other students, otherwise they will give me out. Because of Ueno Shuri's words, other people also converged a little and chose to sleep on the table. This is also the tradition of going to school. This morning, it was all about chakra. After school finally ended, everyone was relieved. At this time, they don't have the kind of passion that they had when they first entered school. They just want to look forward to school soon. After school at noon, I usually choose to bring lunch and eat at school, because noon is only a 1-hour break, which is too short, and lunch is more convenient. When Hyuga Chen took out a generous stool, although everyone knew his appetite, they were still shocked. After eating, take a break and start the afternoon class. The afternoon is usually a practice class, so it is in the training ground. Yesterday, I already instructed you to bring kunai, and today we will contact kunai's throwing method. Speaking of Ueno's tree, he took out a kunai, his wrist flicked slightly, kunai hit the target 50 meters away, and hit the bullseye, causing a burst of exclamation. Huh. Kunai throwing technique is our Uchiha family's strong point. Uchiha Ken, who was swollen on his face, jumped out and pretended to be forced. He stretched out his hand and took out 3 kunai, then clamped it with his hand, and threw it out. The 3 kunai showed a fret shape and hit the bullseye 50 meters away at the same time. Uchiha Jian's hand made many people look at Uchiha Jian with admiration, but he didn't expect this guy to be really capable. What's so great, look at me. Nawaki stood up unhappy, and then took out 3 kunai and shot them towards the target. Although Nawaki's kunai also hit the target, only 2 hit the bullseye, and the other was at the 8th ring, which made Nawaki feel a bit embarrassed. Episode 23, The Senju Clan, but so. After the scar was healed and forgot to hurt, Uchiha Jian became arrogant again, looking at everyone with disdain. Huh. Isn't it the throwing of kunai? The real battle still depends on ninjutsu, what's the use of kunai? Nawaki snorted and forced his dignity back. Nawaki's words made the teacher Ueno Kuri's face black. I'm here to teach you kunai throwing. Hear you say that kunai throwing is useless. After seeing it, Hyuga Chen hurriedly stood up and interrupted the Ueno Shuli, who wanted to get angry. I'll try it too. Hyuga Chen took out a kunai and twisted it between his fingers twice. It's Chen. It must be better than Uchiha Ken and Senju Nawaki. Yes, Chen, such a handsome boy, must be much stronger than those 2 ugly guys. The female nympho in the class talked a lot, with peach-hearted eyes, while raising Hyuga Chen, they also belittle Uchiha Jian and Nawaki. After Uchiha Jian and Nawaki heard it, their faces turned green. They admitted that they were not as handsome as Hyuga Chen, but how ugly they were. They didn't look ugly. Huh. A rubbish of the Hyuga clan, who doesn't even have Byakugan, is so touted by you. Uchiha Ken said jealously. What, dare to insult my male god, sisters, beat him up for me. Ueno Shuli hurried over to stop these crazy girls, and at the same time he muttered to himself, the little girls nowadays are really precocious, why didn't I have this kind of treatment at the time? As a single dog of more than 20 years, Ueno Shuri is extremely envious of Hyuga Chen. Faced with this scene, Hyuga Chen was very proud of himself. He used to be a dick. Although he was too handsome to eat. He was even madly targeted by the once stupid boss because of his handsome appearance. Kunai turned twice again, and then flew out. Even the chunin in the Ueno tree only saw a trace of afterimage. Boom! The wooden target shattered, and the kunai thrown by Hyuga Chen continued to fly forward until it was nailed to the wall in the distance. Ueno felt a bit dry in his throat, and if this kunai was thrown at him, he might not be able to react. This kind of power and speed is beyond words for Ueno Kuri, looking at Hyuga Chen with perverted eyes. Chen is amazing. Mikoto murmured. I know that the male god is the best, I want to give Chen a monkey. Fuck me, Chen is mine. Read more at hompnovel.xyz, this is fake. Senjun Iwaki's expression is exaggerated, but in his heart, he really doesn't think Hyuga Chen is so strong. But looking at this throwing kunai, he can definitely kill him in a second. This is equivalent to penetrating ninjutsu. Amidst everyone's shocked eyes, Hyuga Chen retreated without frustration on the surface. In fact, in his heart, he was very satisfied with the feeling of detonating the audience. From here, it can be seen that Hyuga Chen is rather boring. Uchiha Jian felt an invisible slap on his face, a hot pain. Ahem. Since some students have demonstrated it, but most of them should not be able to, I will explain it to you. Ueno Shuri pulled back to the topic, he was here to teach students, not to watch these big family children who were born with a golden spoon pretending to be forced. After the afternoon of the training of kunai, Ueno Kuri also announced the end of school. After saying goodbye to familiar people such as Mikoto, Hyuga Chen did not go back with the Hyuga family and chose to go back alone. Ninja school is really boring. When can I learn something really useful? Hyuga Chen said listlessly. In the ninja school, what Hyuga Chen really wants to learn is the seemingly useless theoretical knowledge, not the basic things. In terms of basics, Hyuga Chen is more reliable than anyone else. The only difference is theoretical knowledge and real combat experience. Back at home, Hyuga Chen moved his fingers and started to practice the knot printing. Now Hyuga Chen can knot 5 knots in 1 second. Counting more than 20 years in the previous life, plus the current age, Hyuga Chen has lived for nearly 30 years, and he has also been single for 30 years. This speed of hand is not an exaggeration at all. After practicing Jane, Hyuga Chen took a bath to relieve the shadow clone, and then lay exhausted on the bed. I feel my mental strength has skyrocketed a lot. After every mental fatigue, Hyuga Chen can feel that his mental power will increase a little. After taking a break, Hyuga Chen entered the system space. System, can you give me a lottery? I don't mind the redemption point, you can just look at it. Hyuga Chen shouted shamelessly. The system ignores Hyuga Chen. Oh. After sighing, Hyuga Chen asked curiously, the system should also follow the conservation of energy. Let me do nothing, how do you reward me? The existence of the system cannot be understood by host for the time being. This system does not follow the conservation of energy. Do not use science to measure the system. It doesn't follow the conservation of energy. Scratching his head, Hyuga Chen couldn't figure out how the system works. He simply gave up, he couldn't even figure out ninjutsu, let alone the system. The system is so easy to bubbling once, and it will give you a little benefit. Hyuga Chen said with a squinting face. To be a human is to be a thick-skinned person, and a thin-skinned person can't eat anywhere. This is the truth that Hyuga Chen understood when he was not traveling. After a long time, there was no sound from the system, and Hyuga Chen didn't care. If the system really gave it, Hyuga Chen would be surprised. The system will give you 3 chances to draw a lottery, 100,000 redemption points, please check. Fuck. Did I have auditory hallucinations? Hyuga Chen said incredulously. The current Hyuga Chen, like winning several million prizes, suddenly smashed a huge pie on his head. If the pie was thrown by someone else, he might have to consider whether it was poisonous, but if it was thrown by the system, Hyuga Chen would definitely not doubt it. Because everything he has is given by the system, Hyuga Chen will never forget this. If there is no system, he knows what he is like. Based on this, Hyuga Chen absolutely believes in the system. I didn't expect to ask for it, but I really gave it. This system is really a conscience system. By the way, the system has never introduced itself. I don't even know what kind of system this system is. In fact, Hyuga Chen did not ask, but the system has not said. Anyway, thank you for the system, the absolute conscience system. If you can like it, I will give you 10,000 likes. While thanking, praised the system. Wouldn't it be better to give him a lot of rewards in case the system is happy? Anyway, it's okay to flatter the system. Episode 24. After praising the system for a while, Hyuga Chen opened the lottery page and prepared for the lottery. For the lottery, Hyuga Chen has always used it when he has it. The number of draws is not the same as the redemption point. The number of draws is useless. Because you never know what you will get, so it is impossible to use a lottery to save the emergency. Hyuga Chen has been skilled in clicking the lottery. He has already drawn 5 times. Hyuga Chen is also a veteran driver. Haha. 7 prizes appeared, namely, the red shovel of the CF game, the golden wing pistol in the reverse war, the howitzer of the gun god, the T-virus liquid, the Hado 90 black coffin, Zanpakuto Ryujin Jaka, the armored warrior Yanlong summoner. After seeing the prizes, Hyuga Chen wanted to complain about it. Are the red shovel and the summoner come to be funny? Hyuga Chen remembers that the most important thing to summon armor is not the summoner, but the light and shadow stone. After this thing is drawn, can it be collected? Hyuga Chen doesn't want to provoke such dangerous things as T-virus. As for pistols and howitzers, Hyuga Chen has no feelings either. The system's lottery is really all-encompassing, just draw it. After clicking, Hyuga Chen began to wait for the result. Finally, in Hyuga Chen's expectation, the pointer pointed to Hado 90 black coffin. Not bad. It seems that when the European spirit is rising, we will continue to draw. Seeing that black coffin was drawn, Hyuga Chen was very happy. This is definitely the second prize among the 7. After clicking it again, 7 more items appeared, namely, Flying Imperial Sword Flow, 8 trigrams Mountain Breaking Strike, Naruto Game Skill 8 trigrams, 361, Will 2 Mage Hell, Shock Fruit, Perfect, Conqueror's Hockey, Departure Sword. This time, things are better than last time. Hyuga Chen didn't talk nonsense and started the lottery directly. Finally, I got 8 trigrams Mountain Breaking Strike, which can be said to be the strongest attacking technique of the Hyuga clan, but it is of little use to Hyuga Chen and overlaps with Sparkling Fruit's abilities. Although I'm not satisfied, I can't help it if I get it. I can't return it. If it is really possible to withdraw, Hyuga Chen will really return, but unfortunately not. Forget it, anyway, it is a physical skill that can break a mountain. Although it is a hill is also a mountain. Click on the lucky draw again. The prizes presented this time are the least that Hyuga Chen has encountered. There are only 3 prizes in total. In Hyuga Chen's system, the number of prizes in the lottery is irregular and completely random. When Hyuga Chen remembers the most, there were more than a dozen prizes. However, although the quantity of the 3 pieces is small this time, the quality is absolutely outrageous. Read more at hauntnovel.xyz. These 3 items are Saitama Sensei's Strength, Zanpakuto Ryujin Jaka, and the Demon Eye of Straight Death. These 3 belong to the kind of ability to err every second, no matter which one, Hyuga Chen can accept it. I just don't know, if I draw the power of Mr. Saitama, will he also become bald, or have other defects? Hyuga Chen was a little worried. Although Saitama Sensei gained invincible power, he also lost the most precious things. Hair is just a small thing, and the lack of emotion is the big thing. Although Hyuga Chen likes power, he doesn't want to really lose some emotional things. This kind of price Hyuga Chen definitely doesn't want to bear. With a nervous heart, Hyuga Chen clicked on the lottery page, and the pointer moved quickly, and finally the pointer stopped on Zanpakuto Ryujin Jaka under Hyuga Chen's gaze. Hyuga Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Looking at the sword that appeared in front of him, Hyuga Chen quickly took it. The length of the sword is 140 and the handle is 30. It is very different from the old Yamamoto Ryujin Jaka. The 170 centimeters long sword is held in the hand by Hyuga Chen, which looks a bit funny. Now Hyuga Chen wants to use Ryujin Jaka, it is a bit early, too short, and it is difficult to draw a sword. But this can't hide the excitement in Hyuga Chen's heart. As long as he can Bankai Ryujin Jaka, he can definitely sweep the entire ninja world. But it is not so easy to wa Bankai, especially Zanpakuto, the strongest in the hot system. When Hyuga Chen got Ryujin Jaka, there was a slight change in his soul. Ryujin Jaka was directly connected with Hyuga Chen's soul and bound together. Hyuga Chen looked at Ryujin Jaka and felt that this sword had become a part of his body, allowing him to easily control Ryujin Jaka. But Ryujin Jaka, what about Shirkai? Hyuga Chen scratched his head in distress. What Zanpakuto's strongest is Shirkai and Bankai, otherwise it is an extremely sharp sword, although precious, it is not a magical weapon. Forget it, I'll talk about it later. I already got Ryujin Jaka, I don't believe I can't Shirkai in the future. Putting Ryujin Jaka in the system backpack, Hyuga Chen left the system space. Lying on the bed, looking at the bright moonlight outside, Hyuga Chen had insomnia at this moment. The surprise for him this time was too great, whether it was Hado 90 Black Coffin or Zanpakuto Ryujin Jaka, he was very excited. Black Coffin alone is better, which is a powerful skill, but Ryujin Jaka is different. I remember the last time I was so excited, when I just got Tenseigan, because Hyuga Chen was just born at that time. Hyuga Chen fainted with excitement. After a long time, Hyuga Chen stabilized. It's still not enough. Although I got Ryujin Jaka, I still can't Shurikai. Actually, it doesn't increase my strength much. Hyuga Chen said with a wry smile. I feel a bit too exaggerated. Although the system has been modified to use Ryujin Jaka directly with chakra, the consumption of chakra is definitely not a minority. It's too early to get Ryujin Jaka every second. Sleep. Sleep. That's it for getting Ryujin Jaka. If you get something stronger than Ryujin Jaka in the future, wouldn't it be exciting? Forcibly suppressing the excitement in his heart, Hyuga Chen closed his eyes and forcibly went to sleep. Let Shadow Clone practice ninjutsu the next day. If you don't take a good rest, you won't be able to practice well the next day. After a rest night, Hyuga Chen was still in poor spirits after getting up. Sure enough, I'm still a layman. Hyuga Chen smiled, then said to himself, forget it, take a day off today. I ate breakfast casually, and then headed to the ninja school. Although he was holding back the excitement in his heart, Hyuga Chen couldn't help laughing. You came early today, and it seems very happy to see how you look. Is there anything good? Say it and share it. Nawaki slapped Hyuga Chen on the shoulder sharply. Hyuga Chen was taken aback, and said angrily, you scared me, you know? It's your lack of concentration, as if you have lost your soul, with a silly smile on your face. Episode 25, Chen, Nawaki, what are you two doing standing in front of the school? Zuludi and the three came over. It's Chen, who seems to be so happy because of something. You are stupid. Hyuga Chen reached out to Nawaki's head and slapped him. It hurts. You guy really beat me. If I get beaten stupid, I will never let you go. Nawaki said, clutching his head. Don't worry. If you get beaten up, you won't bother me anymore. Why? Nawaki asked stupidly. Hyuga Chen looked at Nawaki with a caring look of mentally retarded eyes, and said earnestly, because at that time, you were already a fool. After speaking, Hyuga Chen stepped into the campus, leaving Nawaki in a daze. Let's go. Let's go in, fool. Hai patted Nawaki on the shoulder and laughed. Hyuga Chen of damn it, stop for me. Nawaki hurried to catch up with Hyuga Chen. There is a good show over there, let's go and have a look. Before Nawaki could speak again, Hyuga Chen stretched his finger to a distance. Huh? Looking at the students who were still gathering in a circle, Nawaki also became interested. He was a good person, and he didn't care about Hyuga Chen, so he ran to watch the excitement. What's the matter? Yamanaka Hai looked into the distance and asked Hyuga Chen. Hyuga Chen heard the words and gave him a Byakugan directly. Are you stupid about this question? I'm just a front foot here. You asked me what's the use. Yamanaka smiled awkwardly, and found that his problem was indeed a bit silly. But looking at this situation, there should be a conflict. Do you want to take a look together? I don't like this kind of trouble, go by yourself. Nara Lugio said with his eyes open. But it was of no use. Nara Keijiu was dragged by Yamanaka Keiichi and Akamichi Denza, and forced to lead him over. Hyuga Chen did not go, not because he was not very busy, but because at the school gate, Hyuga Chen saw Uchiha Mikoto. Mikoto. This way. Hyuga Chen waved to Mikoto. Mikoto saw Hyuga Chen and walked over quickly, with a smile on his face asking, why did you come so early, Chen? With this sentence again, Hyuga Chen wanted to complain very much. Read more at hompnovel.xyz. He just came late yesterday, and he was labeled as being late. Let's go over there to watch the fun. Without answering, Hyuga Chen took Mikoto's tender little hand and walked over there. Mikoto blushed, struggling slightly, let Hyuga Chen lead her, her small heart thumped and throbbed. Coming here, Hyuga Chen saw Hyuga Hayashi, who was taking the Hyuga family and confronting the Uchiha family. What's the situation? Could it be that Uchiha Jien wants revenge? Hyuga Chen patted Namikaze Minato. He was already here. It should be true. What's the situation? Before Namikaze Minato could speak, Mikoto pulled Hyuga Chen, and then whispered, the leader is Uchiha Fugaku of our family, the patriarch's son. Oh. Hyuga Chen raised an eyebrow. Before, Uchiha Fugaku beat the Hyuga family and said that he would step on the Hyuga family. Hayashi happened to hear it, so he confronted him. Namikaze Minato explained. Hyuga Chen looked inside and found that the Hyuga family member who was beaten, he still knew. Isn't this Hyuga Steel, the older brother of Hyuga Teppanyaki? Why was it beaten by Uchiha Fugaku? Uchiha Fugaku, I want to challenge you. Hyuga Hayashi's pure white eyes looked at Uchiha Fugaku with murderous intent. Hyuga Hisashi next to him wanted to stop Hayashi, but he didn't know how to stop it. Uchiha Fugaku is bigger than Hyuga Hayashi and is about to graduate. There is almost no chance of Hyuga Hayashi winning. Hayashi. You have to calm down. You will know that this guy is better than you. If you are beaten again, Hyuga's face will be lost. Hyuga Chen persuaded him kindly. What? You mean I'm inferior to him? Hyuga Hayashi was furious. Hayashi, I feel that Chen is right, you are indeed a little irrational. Nara Lugio said, he is not optimistic about Hyuga Hayashi either. Brother, I will ask him for it later, let's forget it this time. Huh. I want to prove to you that the Uchiha family is vulnerable. Hyuga Hayashi couldn't listen to everyone's persuasion. There must be a limit if you can't help yourself. I will teach you a lesson today, and I will accept your challenge. Uchiha Fugaku's nostrils are facing the sky, and he looks down at Hyuga Hayashi with his nostrils. Uchiha Fugaku's expression that does not regard Hyuga Hayashi as a human being makes Hyuga Hayashi's angry chichia smoke, and even Byakugan is a bit red, as if he is going to be upgraded to a Sharingan posture. Die to me, 8 trigrams 16 palms. Byakugan opened, the blue veins next to his eyes were violent, and he looked very hideous. An 8 trigram appeared and enveloped Uchiha Fugaku. Hyuga Hayashi's hands quickly hit it out and hit Uchiha Fugaku's whole body. If Uchiha Fugaku is hit, it may really be GG. But Uchiha Fugaku is so easy to hit, a Kama-like Goyu appeared in his eyes, slowly spinning in his eyes. Although it was just a Goyu Sharingan, it was enough to perceive Hyuga Hayashi's attack. I saw the fist that was originally very fast, but in the eyes of Uchiha Fugaku, he twisted his body at will, like a turtle speed, easily avoiding the attack of Hyuga Hayashi. All this just happened between the electric light and flint, so that the crowd watching, the blood boiled, and the envy was extremely envious. This is the gentle fist from the Hyuga family, and the Sharingan from the Uchiha family? It's really powerful. Yeah. If I had it too, that would be great. There were also some who didn't know Sharingan, and asked people they knew around, and the discussion was enthusiastic. We will take action after Hayashi's defeat in a while. What Hayashi said is also in our class, and can't be bullied by others. Nawaki clenched his fist, looking a little excited. Seeing Nawaki's excitement, Hyuga Chen complained, I think you just want to fight. After Hyuga Hayashi finished playing 8 trigrams 16 palms, his figure came to a halt and he gasped. Although 8 trigrams 16 palms is just in excess of 8 trigrams 32 palms, the consumption is not low, at least the current Hyuga Hayashi, which is barely used twice. But if you use it up, you don't have to fight, Hyuga Hayashi loses combat effectiveness by himself. So now Hyuga Hayashi didn't dare to use it, took out the kunai in the ninja bag, and confronted Uchiha Fugaku. Episode 26, Humph. Uchiha Fugaku snorted coldly, spinning chakra under his feet, and then burst out, approaching Hyuga Hayashi in the blink of an eye, and the kunai in his hand slashed towards Hyuga Hayashi. Hyuga Hayashi's eyes widened, and then hurriedly blocked Kuwu in front of him, and took a blow from Uchiha Fugaku, but his figure moved back quickly. After knocking down several onlookers, Hyuga Hayashi stopped, his arms trembled slightly and his face flushed. Although the Hyuga clan is a physique family, Hyuga Hayashi is still too young, and the Uchiha family's physique is not weak, and it is normal to be repelled. Fire style, great fireball technique. After repelling Hyuga Hayashi, Uchiha Fugaku nodded both hands and used the great fireball technique, a 4-meter fireball, to hit Hyuga Hayashi. Seeing the fireball ejected by Uchiha Fugaku, Hyuga Hayashi's face showed a look of horror, regardless of the small amount of chakra left in his body. All of them burst out and quickly avoided. Boom. The ground was smashed into a big hole. If Hyuga Hayashi was hit, it would definitely be dead or alive. You guy, do you want to kill Hayashi? Nawaki asked angrily. The other Class A people also looked at Uchiha Fugaku unkindly. Huh. He is not as skilled as humans, and he deserves to die. Uchiha Fugaku said coldly. Tsk Tusk. As expected of the son of the patriarch of the Uchiha clan, dared to use ninjutsu in the school, it is really hanging. Hyuga Chen looked at Uchiha Fugaku and said playfully. In the ninja school, it is not allowed to use ninjutsu without permission, and you will even be invited to drink tea by Umbu accidentally. Who are you? Uchiha Fugaku frowned, and Hyuga Chen's tone made him very upset. Master, he is the Hyuga family, the trash that can't turn on Byakugan. The dog leg of Uchiha Fugaku next to him replied. It turned out to be you, not even Byakugan, so you dare to stand up and speak. After Uchiha Fugaku knew about it, he immediately became disdainful. Unlike the Uchiha family, the Hyuga family can open Byakugan, which is also an advantage that the Uchiha family does not have. If it is in the Uchiha family, and Sharingan is not turned on, it can only be said that the talent is not good. If it is placed in the Hyuga family, it is a waste. And Uchiha Fugaku, who started Sharingan at the age of 9, was the first eye-opener in the history of the Uchiha clan, except for Uchiha Madara, and he is now recognized by the Uchiha clan as the best talent. Even Uchiha Fugaku is confident to surpass Uchiha Madara and take the Uchiha clan to the ultimate glory. Read more at hauntnovel.xyz. So naturally, I look down on Hyuga Chen, who he considers waste, and even think that talking to him is a price drop. Seeing Uchiha Fugaku's arrogant look, Hyuga Chen was very upset. It was pretending to be on his head. Yeah. You are Uchiha Makoto, how come you are with this trash, pulling and pulling, you simply lose the face of our Uchiha family. Suddenly, Uchiha Fugaku saw Uchiha Makoto, who was pulling together with Hyuga Chen, and his face immediately became difficult to look. Seeing everyone's eyes focused on him, Uchiha Makoto lowered his head shyly, feeling very embarrassed, and wanted to pull his hand out, but Hyuga Chen grabbed it too tightly and couldn't pull it out. Hurry up and stay away from this trash, or I don't mind expelling you from the Uchiha family. As the son of the patriarch, he is still capable of expelling a person from the family. Of course, this is limited to ordinary Uchiha family members. If it was the former Uchiha Makoto, Uchiha Fugaku would definitely not dare to say that, because the grandfather of Uchiha Makoto, who is also the elder of the Uchiha family, still has real power. However, Makoto's grandfather had been injured and died a year ago, while Makoto's parents died earlier, so now Makoto is an ordinary tribe. Hearing Uchiha Fugaku's words, Makoto's face turned pale, and then a stubbornness flashed in his eyes, and he lowered his head without listening to Uchiha Fugaku's words. For Hyuga Chen, she doesn't know why. In short, she really likes to be with him. There is no reason, but she feels very at ease with him. So let her stay away from Hyuga Chen, she instinctively didn't want to. Very good. Uchiha Fugaku was furious. You are no longer a member of the Uchiha family. Although Makoto's grandfather still has some power, it is a matter of fact that Makoto is expelled from the Uchiha family. Makoto grasped Hyuga Chen's hand, his face was a little pale, and his eyes were tearful, as if there would be a downpour at any time. However, although Makoto was weak on the outside, he was very strong on the inside and forcibly held back tears. It's not how deep Makoto's feelings for the Uchiha family are, but the Uchiha family who was kicked out of her childhood. She didn't know where to go, she was very confused and helpless. Looking at the poor Makoto, Hyuga Chen said that he couldn't bear it, and kicked Uchiha Fugaku. In the shock of everyone, Uchiha Fugaku was like a rag doll, thrown out several tens of meters, and then fell to the ground, splashing dust. Whether it is extremely weak, Hyuga Hayashi, who is supported by Hyuga Hizashi, or Makoto, who is grasping by Hyuga Chen, who is confused, his eyes widened. Chen, are you so strong? Nawaki rubbed his eyes and said in disbelief. Although Hyuga Chen is taller, Uchiha Fugaku is more than a head taller than Hyuga Chen. However, the short Hyuga Chen kicked Uchiha Fugaku away, and he still kicked it tens of meters away. He didn't know if Uchiha Fugaku was still alive. The onlookers mourned Uchiha Fugaku in silence, and then looked at Hyuga Chen as if they were watching a scourge. Not to mention anything else, it is this power that makes them terrified. I said, Chen, why are you so powerful? Yesterday, we were shocked when you smashed the target with no misfortune. Now you can kick people tens of meters away. You are only 5 years old. Too abnormal. Nawaki smacked his tongue. Because I am born with great strength. Maybe because I don't have Byakugan, God will compensate me for it. Hyuga Chen said plausibly. Sage of Six Paths once said that when a door is closed for you, a window will definitely be opened for you. Isn't Sage of Six Paths a legend? He really said this? Nawaki questioned. Of course, this is what I read from an ancient book, and it is indeed what Sage of Six Paths said. Hyuga Chen said nonsense with his eyes open, and was not at all afraid that Sage of Six Paths Otsutsuki Hagoromo, who was peeping at ninja from the dark, would hear it. Nawaki directly believed this, still wondering if Sage of Six Paths had left any windows for himself. Episode 27. I said you guys don't talk anymore, go see Uchiha Fugaku. If that guy really hangs up, Chen will really be unlucky. Narashika shook his head and interrupted them. Don't worry. I have a sense of measure, at most I can break 7 or 8 ribs, and can't die. Hyuga Chen said indifferently. At the time of the move, Hyuga Chen was very measured. If he really kicked Uchiha Fugaku to death, Konoha would definitely have no place for him. Even if Tsunade supports him, he is a member of the Hyuga family. Based on Hyuga Chen's knowledge of Sarutobi Hiruzen, if Uchiha Fugaku really died, he would definitely hand Hyuga Chen to the Uchiha family. Because he didn't want Konoha's internal chaos, he could only do this. The Uchiha family in this period is not comparable to the time when it was annihilated. If the current Uchiha family chooses to rebel, even if the entire Konoha is suppressed together, it will be greatly injured, and other villages will definitely take advantage of it. So if Hyuga Chen doesn't want to fall out with Konoha, it's best not to kill Uchiha Fugaku. Don't worry, Mikoto, it doesn't matter if you leave the Uchiha family, you have been living in the glory of the Sengoku period. In fact, after Uchiha Madara left, the Uchiha family began to weaken. It's good to leave now. Hyuga Chen comforted Mikoto. Yeah. Thank you, Chen. Mikoto grinned reluctantly. Leaving the Uchiha family, Mikoto can come to my house. Anyway, my house is quite big, but I am quite lonely. Hyuga Chen said with a smile, with some expectation in his eyes. Mikoto blushed, and he couldn't think of where he was going. It was when he was very confused, so he didn't refuse Hyuga Chen's proposal. Unexpectedly, Uchiha Fugaku gave me an assist. Should I thank him? If I meet again in the future, I will call him again as a thank you. Hyuga Chen rode silently in my heart. Hyuga Chen, you wait, our Uchiha family will never let you go. Uchiha Fugaku's dog legs helped Uchiha Fugaku up, and then yelled. What are you doing? As soon as his words fell, Hyuga Chen and their teacher, Ueno Kumi, rushed over, looking at the Uchiha family with a cold expression. You are threatening my student? After speaking, a murderous aura spewed out and enveloped the few people in an instant. Ueno Tree said it was Chunin. He has seen murderous auras in his body if he has seen blood-killing people. They were trembling with fright in an instant. Yes, it's Hyuga Chen. He injured our patriarch first. One of the Uchiha family dragon sleeves said tremblingly, read more at hauntnovel.xyz. Hearing this, Ueno Shuri gave Hyuga Chen a glare, and then said forcefully, I will punish him for this, but you actually threatened my student openly. Did you put me in your eyes? Also, who did this ninjutsu, dare to release ninjutsu at school? Ueno Kuki pointed to the scorched big hole, feeling the remaining chakra breath, and his face was angry. Teacher, this was released by Uchiha Fugaku, and it was so bad that it killed classmate Hayashi. Nawaki said quickly. Very good. I will report this to Master Naruto, and Master Naruto will deal with it. Ueno Kuri said coldly. You little rascals, hurry up and go back to class for me, it doesn't make me worry at all. They snarled at Hyuga Chen, and Ueno Kuri went to check Uchiha Fugaku's injuries. Only by knowing the specifics can he protect his students. If Uchiha Fugaku dies, no matter how much he wants to protect Hyuga Chen, there is nothing he can do. Fortunately, after a check, it was found that Uchiha Fugaku was only seriously injured and not life-threatening. I took Uchiha Fugaku to Konoha Hospital, and Ueno Kuri went to the Hokage building and reported to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although he doesn't know what happened now, Ueno Kuri directly released Uchiha Fugaku at school and reported the incident that he almost killed his student. After reporting with Naruto Sarutobi Hiruzen, Ueno Kuri hurried back to find out the specific situation. What the hell is going on, Minato? After arriving in the class, Ueno Kuri asked Minato to tell what happened. As for why I looked for Minato, of course it was because Minato was more reliable. If other people, Ueno Kuri really doubted the authenticity of their words. As a good boy, Namikaze Minato faced the inquiry from Ueno Shuri and explained all the ins and outs of the matter one by one. Hyuga Hayashi, stand up for me. Ueno Kumi growled. Let's be able to do it. How about your own strength? Don't you know in your heart, you think you are a first-year student who can beat others in the 5th grade, and are about to graduate? The rebuke from Ueno Shuri's head and face made Hyuga Hayashi extremely aggrieved, but there was no way to refute it. I know you care about the glory of the family, but next time you are so mindless, you should not inherit the glory of any family in the future. You will die directly in the hands of the enemy. There is only so much the teacher can say, so please reflect on yourself. Ueno Kazumi waved his hand and asked Hyuga Hayashi to sit down. Then turned his head to look at Hyuga Chen. What a smile, do you feel that you are very beautiful? You almost kicked the 5th grader to death with one kick, right? But have you thought about the consequences? If something happens to Uchiha Fugaku today, no one can keep you. Ueno Kuri yelled. Hyuga Chen lowered his head, did not speak, and did not feel disgusted in his heart. In the current Ueno tree, Hyuga Chen reminded Hyuga Chen of the time when he was still a student. The class teacher, especially the tone of voice, and the style of doing things are very similar. I don't want to say more, knowing that you won't listen. I just want to think about the consequences when you do things in the future. With a sigh, Ueno Kuri revealed the incident for the time being, and then began to lecture. This time I talked about chakra refinement. Of course, Hyuga Chen didn't have much interest. He lay down on the table and began to compress chakra. Because of his lack of previous experience, he now has to spend a long time to improve the quality of chakra. Hyuga Chen estimates that it will take at least half a year to completely compress the chakra in the body. At that time, Hyuga Chen's chakra will shrink dozens of times, or even hundreds of times, which is estimated to be the level of Jonin, or elite Jonin. However, by then, Hyuga Chen's combat effectiveness will not only not decline, but will increase a lot. The whole morning passed like this. When get out of class was over at noon, Ueno stopped for a while, and then said, "Hyuga Chen, come with me, I have something to tell you." Chen. Mikoto looked at Hyuga Chen worriedly. Hyuga Chen shrugged, gave Mikoto a relieved look, and then walked out of Ueno Shuri. Episode 28. Following Ueno Shuri to the office, Hyuga Chen smiled and asked, "I don't know if the teacher is looking for me, what's the matter? Are you still smiling?" Ueno Kuri was instantly exasperated. "I don't want to investigate who is right and who is wrong with today's affairs, but I want to remind you that you severely injured Uchiha Fugaku today, and the Uchiha family will not let things go so easily. So you be careful. Although in Konoha village, the Uchiha family will not be too much, but you have to remember that the Uchiha family controls the Konoha guard. As long as they hold the handle, I can't help you, teacher." Ueno Shuri reminded Hyuga Chen. "I see, thank you for your reminder." Hyuga Chen solemnly thanked Ueno Shuri. He still knows who treats him well. "Oh." Ueno Shuri sighed, "I have no power and no power, that is, a little teacher, and I can't help much. I can only remind you, and I don't need to thank you. This is what my teacher should do. If there is nothing else, I will leave first. Go." Ueno Kumi waved his hand. Hyuga Chen nodded, then walked out, closing the door by the way. After returning to the classroom, Nawaki, Hai, and others gathered around and asked, "Ms. Ueno is looking for you. If there is anything wrong, shouldn't I be punishing you?" "Nothing, just to make me be careful of the Uchiha family." With a smile, Hyuga Chen said nonchalantly. "Chen. You should be more careful. The Uchiha family controls the Konoha security department. They have always been extremely domineering. It couldn't be easier to find you a crime." Nara Lugio reminded. "Huh. Hyuga Chen belongs to our Hyuga family. If the Uchiha clan wants to move him, it depends on whether our Hyuga family can answer or not." Hyuga Hayashi said with a cold snort. Because Hyuga Chen kicked Uchiha Fugaku this time, it also saved the Hyuga family's face and made Hyuga Hayashi look at Hyuga Chen with admiration. "Don't worry, everyone. After all, there is still Mikoto, and I still need to take care of it now. I will naturally be fine." Hyuga Chen looked at Mikoto with a smile on his face. "Huh." Mikoto was stunned for a moment, then buried his head on the table shyly. When other people saw the shy Mikoto and the smiling Hyuga Chen, they couldn't help being a little speechless. At this time, they were thinking about hooking up with the little girl. The crowd gave Hyuga Chen a look of contempt, and then ignored him. Hyuga Chen smiled, so many people care about him, Hyuga Chen is still very happy. Taking out the lunchbox, Hyuga Chen ate with peace of mind. Hyuga Chen didn't care about the revenge against the Uchiha family. As long as the Uchiha family is not a fool, it is absolutely impossible to openly target Hyuga Chen. Read more at hontnovel.xyz. The reputation of the Uchiha family, needless to say, if they move Hyuga Chen now, it will definitely arouse the hostility of all the families. This is not how much Hyuga Chen's face is, but what the Uchiha family has done for many years has made them the opposite of all the families. In Konoha, there may be people who do not hate the Uchiha family, but there is no one who does not hate the Uchiha family. No matter how you say Hyuga Chen, he is also a member of the Hyuga family. If Uchiha dares to move Hyuga Chen, does it mean that they also dare to move people from other families, which will naturally arouse hostility? If it is secretly shot against Hyuga Chen is even more not afraid, he is worried about not having a whetstone. After the meal, I started the afternoon class not long after, and I was still practicing kunai in the afternoon, which was very boring. The existence of the Ninja Academy is more to give civilians opportunities and provide fresh blood to Konoha, so it is natural to start teaching from the most basic. After the afternoon class, Hyuga Chen followed Mikoto to the Uchiha station. Although Uchiha Fugaku is still a 9-year-old kid, his prestige in the Uchiha family is not small. After all, he is Uchiha's first genius. So to expel Mikoto, this is already a certainty. Hyuga Chen followed Makoto back, naturally to get her things. In the hostile gaze of the Uchiha people, Hyuga Chen and Makoto came to her residence, which was a very large house. Putting away the important things, Makoto took a nostalgic look, and then left with Hyuga Chen. Just when he was about to leave the Uchiha family's clan, a tall figure blocked the way. Hyuga Chen looked up at the other party, with a face with Chinese characters, with a strong pressure on him, and his appearance was somewhat similar to Uchiha Fugaku. It's the patriarch of the Uchiha family. Uchiha Makoto reminded in a low voice, with some worry in his eyes. You were the one who injured Fugaku. A heavy pressure, carrying a murderous intent, rushed towards Hyuga Chen. Hyuga Chen frowned, and then just ignored it. As long as you are confident enough and have a strong strength, any coercive and murderous aura is false. Hyuga Chen also possesses murderous aura, but it is not a murder, but a murderous animal. Seeing that Hyuga Chen was unaffected, Uchiha was stunned, and a cold light flashed across his eyes quickly. A good dog doesn't stand in the way. Hyuga Chen said coldly, not giving any face to the Uchiha patriarch. Smelly boy, what are you talking about? The Uchiha family next to them looked at Hyuga Chen with cannibalistic eyes. If it hadn't been ordered by Uchiha before, they would start to kill Hyuga Chen here. Uchiha is the most angry, being scolded as a dog by others. If it weren't for his restraint, and the overall situation of Uchiha, he would have to act now. The chill in his eyes, without concealing it, stared at Hyuga Chen and Makoto coldly. Makoto shuddered, and a look of fear flashed in his eyes. Feeling Makoto's anxiety, Hyuga Chen reached out and grabbed Makoto's hand. A warm breath dissipated the chill in Makoto's heart. You are fine, I hope I can see you next time. Uchiha turned and left. Heh, as long as you don't die, you can see me, and I'm afraid you won't survive the next time we meet. Hyuga Chen sneered and went back. Huh. It's useless to rely on your lips. Uchiha snorted coldly, suppressing the anger in his heart, and left. If it weren't for Konoha village, he would definitely let Hyuga Chen die thoroughly. Hyuga Chen turned his head with a sneer, and then left with Makoto. He dared to provoke Uchiha Nei so, naturally, it was not stupid, but because of the Uchiha clan, he definitely did not dare to act on him in an open manner. Even if he really dares to do it, Hyuga Chen is not afraid. His Tenseigan's time and space manipulation can already be used simply. As long as Hyuga Chen sees and perceives the place, he can move in an instant. With this ability, he can easily take Makoto away, and he is not afraid that the Uchiha family will attack them. Episode 29, Patriarch, just let them go like this. Our Uchiha family become a place where others want to come and leave. Chirin, all this is for Uchiha. Now our Uchiha's reputation is not good. If we force him to stay here, our Uchiha's reputation will be even worse. At that time, don't talk about fighting for the position of Hokage, even the right to speak in the village will be reduced, so there is no need to put our Uchiha family at a disadvantage because of a kid. As the patriarch of the Uchiha family, Uchiha naturally has to think more about everything, and first consider the pros and cons of things. Then make that kid so arrogant, and Uchiha Makoto, who dares to betray the family, this wind cannot last. Uchiha Chirin said unwillingly. It's not easy to target him on the open, but you can get rid of them secretly, but you must clean your hands and feet, and you have to put the blame on other shinobu villages afterwards. You can leave this to Chirin. You can have confidence? Uchiha looked at Uchiha Chirin and asked. Naturally, it's just 2 5-year-old little ghosts. Uchiha Chirin looked proud. He was an elite jonin, and he was not able to deal with the 5-year-old little ghost. The most important thing is not to kill them, but to blame others. Don't let others see the flaws. Don't be careless. Uchiha reminded. Guaranteed to complete the task. Uchiha Kaido licked the corner of his mouth. Yeah. Uchiha nodded. Uchiha Chirin is one of the few masters in the Uchiha family, just a bit worse than him. Uchiha still believes in his abilities very much. Don't shoot him first, it's better to wait for a while, otherwise it's too obvious. After thinking about it, Uchiha said. Uchiha Chirin heard this and nodded. Hyuga Chen didn't know that the Uchiha family was ready to secretly attack him. But even if I knew it, Hyuga Chen would not care, but would raise his hands to welcome him. He lacks combat experience now. If you come to a free sparring session, Hyuga Chen is naturally happy. My house is naturally not as big as yours, so don't dislike it. Hyuga Chen said jokingly. Uchiha Makoto shook his head, and then said, in fact, I prefer small houses like this. Although the houses together are big, they are empty. In fact, Hyuga Chen's home is not small. It is a two-story building with 3 bedrooms and a living room on the top, and a hall, kitchen, toilet and special bathroom below it, as well as a bedroom. Hyuga Chen lives in the lower bedroom. Originally, when Hyuga Chen's father was still alive, Hyuga Chen was on it, but after Hyuga Chen's father died during the mission, Hyuga Chen moved down. So when I came upstairs, Hyuga Chen felt a little awkward looking at the dust all over. Read more at hauntnovel.xyz, because it hasn't been up for a long time and it hasn't been cleaned, don't mind. I'll finish cleaning immediately. His hands quickly formed seals, and he shouted, multiple shadow clone techniques. 100 shadow clone appeared, and under the arrangement of Hyuga Chen, the house was cleaned. If Mikoto wanted to help, he stiffened directly on his face, staring at the full shadow clone, dumbfounded. It seems to be too much. Hyuga Chen scratched his head, then left 30, and the rest was relieved. Let's go down. Wait for them to finish cleaning, then come up again. Hyuga Chen pulled Mikoto in a daze, went back downstairs, and let Mikoto sit on the sofa. Hyuga Chen took out 2 glasses of juice in the refrigerator and handed it to Mikoto. Thank you. Mikoto thanked him after taking the fruit with both hands. Don't be so polite, we will live together in the future. No matter how polite we are, it will make a difference. Hyuga Chen responded with a smile. Mikoto blushed, then nodded, always feeling that there is some ambiguity in Hyuga Chen's words. I'm going to make dinner. After doing a while, Mikoto got up and walked towards the kitchen. Okay. Mikoto's bento made me cry before, but now I can finally taste Mikoto's craftsmanship. Hyuga Chen praised, this is not Hyuga Chen telling lies, the lunchbox of Mikoto before, is indeed very fragrant. Mikoto smiled softly and then walked into the kitchen. Because he was not tall enough, Mikoto took another small stool. After more than half an hour, Mikoto finally prepared the meal, and because Hyuga Chen was so good to eat, Mikoto prepared a very large amount. After Mikoto brought it up, Hyuga Chen could not help but want to squeeze it with his hands, smelling the attractive fragrance. Plaque. Mikoto reached out and opened Hyuga Chen's hand, and then said slyly, hurry up and wash your hands. Hyuga Chen smirked, and then ran to wash his hands. After washing his hands, Hyuga Chen quickly returned to the table and began to feast on it. Seeing Hyuga Chen devouring, Mikoto smiled happily. Seeing Hyuga Chen's appearance, he knew that he was very satisfied with his cooking. 9/10 of the food on a large table entered Hyuga Chen's stomach. After eating, Hyuga Chen lay comfortably on the sofa. It's so full. Mikoto's craftsmanship is good, much better than what I did. After Mikoto grows up, she is definitely a good wife. Hyuga Chen praised. Mikoto blushed again, and Hyuga Chen's praise made her shy, but her heart was sweet. The cleaning of the above is finished, Mikoto, go and tidy it up first. Hyuga Chen said after unlocking the shadow clone. Mikoto nodded, then looked at Hyuga Chen seriously. Thank you, Chen, this time. If it weren't for you, I really don't know what to do. Thank you for letting me get out of the confusion. Mikoto said with a beautiful smile. What a cute little loli. Hyuga Chen whispered in his heart. Because of Mikoto's smile, Hyuga Chen was taken aback for a while, and then said softly, in fact, all of this is because of me. If it were not for me to trouble you, you would not be expelled from the Uchiha family now. In short, we are also living together now, and we will help each other in the future. Don't say thank you for this kind of vocabulary. From now on, we will all be a family. A family? Mikoto felt sweet in his heart, and then ran upstairs chokingly. Hyuga Chen smiled, did Mikoto just be shy? Turning on the TV, Hyuga Chen watched the TV of Hokage World. To be honest, many things about Hokage are worth complaining. In the Naruto world, some technologies are very advanced, but some technologies are also very backward. Probably because of chakra. Let the world develop somewhat deformed. There are also news in Naruto, such as the situation of various countries, and what strategies does each country have. The so-called brick house analysis. But just look at this kind of thing, and you lose if you are serious, and the real strategy will leak out. Episode 30. The following days were peaceful, and the Uchiha family did not bother them. Hyuga Chen and Mikoto live together, eat together, and go to school together. The relationship is better. Mikoto, who used to be shy because of Hyuga Chen, is not as shy as before. In this way, more than half a year passed peacefully. During the more than half a year, in addition to going to school, sometimes Tsunade would take him and Mikoto to the casino to bet when Tsunade returned from duty. In the past half a year, his strength has changed the most. First of all, the originally expanded chakra has been compressed to the level of Jonin. In other words, Hyuga Chen is already a real Jonin. The 5.5-year-old Jonin can definitely scare a lot of people to death. This should be no one before, and no one afterwards, otherwise it is definitely the one who is gone. After finishing the breakfast, Hyuga Chen suggested to Makoto, today was a holiday, so why don't we go out and have a barbecue together? Yeah. Makoto nodded, and generally, she would not refute Hyuga Chen's proposal. Do you want to call the classmates? No, just the two of us. Hyuga Chen shook his head and looked out the window. A ray of cold light flashed in his eyes, and then disappeared instantly. Just the two of us, do you get along with Chen in the wild? So shy. Makoto blushed, and then went to prepare food for the picnic. These are Makoto's mental activities, and Hyuga Chen doesn't know it. And Hyuga Chen is not to talk about love this time, but to solve the people who have been watching them outside. From a week ago, Hyuga Chen had sensed that someone was watching him, and he was also exuding boundless malice, which made Hyuga Chen immediately alert. Although I don't know who the other party is, it's easy to guess that the only person he offended was the Uchiha family. Except for Uchiha, even the insidious Danzo now has no reason to attack Hyuga Chen. In the past half a year, except for the one shot that killed Uchiha Fugaku, Hyuga Chen was very low-key, and at most showed great power. And Hyuga Chen showed the greatest strength, which is comparable to Genin's level, so that Hyuga Chen killed Uchiha Fugaku and Sarutobi Hiruzen, who paid attention to Hyuga Chen, was also a little disappointed. In his opinion, Hyuga Chen's ability to kill Uchiha Fugaku in seconds was completely unexpected. Uchiha Fugaku was too careless, so he didn't pay attention to Hyuga Chen. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen is not paying attention to himself anymore, let alone the old thing Danzo. Therefore, it is only possible to belong to the Uchiha family. At this moment, Hyuga Chen's eyes were full of shocking killing intent. No matter who the opponent is, he must die. Read more at hauntnovel.xyz. Hyuga Chen himself is not afraid that someone will stare at him, but there is also Uchiha Makoto. Although Makoto has good talents, he is too young and weak. So just for the sake of Makoto, Hyuga Chen has to deal with this malicious guy. Originally, Hyuga Chen wanted to go out alone, lead this person to other places, and then solve him. But Hyuga Chen worries that if someone starts to attack Makoto during this period, it will be in trouble. Although this is the Hyuga clan, there will be no accidents, but I am afraid there is a case. In addition, Makoto was in the Hyuga family, although she was not rejected, but no one saw her. Even if Makoto has been expelled from the Uchiha family, he was once a member of the Uchiha family. Hyuga and Uchiha have never been at odds with each other, and they have no good feelings for Makoto. Even if it hadn't been ordered by Hyuga Hayashi, it would be very difficult for Makoto to enter Hyuga's house. Hyuga Chen thought about moving out before, but was stopped by Makoto. Ready, Chen, let's go. Makoto sealed all the things that should be taken in the seal scroll and said in a sweet voice. Huh? Oh. Chen, you seem to have something on your mind these days? Makoto frowned. Nothing, let's go. Hyuga Chen smiled, then took Makoto's hand and walked out. Makoto didn't say anything else, she was kind of gentle character. Hyuga Chen didn't say it, she wouldn't get to the bottom. After Hyuga Chen and Makoto left the Hyuga family, the guy hiding in the dark also looked at them. Uchiha Chirin was very depressed. In order to assassinate Hyuga Chen and Uchiha Makoto, he had been squatting for a week, but he couldn't find a chance to start. Hyuga Chen and Uchiha Makoto have been staying in the Hyuga family. He didn't dare to go in and make trouble, otherwise he would definitely stand in and lie down. On the way to school Uchiha Chirin did not dare to do anything. There were too many people. He would definitely alarm Umbu if he dared to do it. Even if he succeeded in killing Hyuga Chen and Uchiha Makoto, he could not run. Following Hyuga Chen and Uchiha Makoto, Uchiha Chirin began to look for opportunities. Seeing that Hyuga Chen and Uchiha Makoto had been thinking about Konoha Forest, Uchiha was excited. Is this the prey going to the door? Hyuga Chen and Uchiha Makoto stopped at the outskirts of Konoha Forest. Chen, why did you choose to be here? Although it is cool, it is very dangerous. The teacher said that there are huge beasts in the forest, and there are even ninja beasts. If you don't come here, how can your prey be caught? Hyuga Chen smiled and said something that Makoto couldn't understand. You got out by yourself, or I asked you out. What? Did he find me? It's impossible. My hiding technique is quasi-shadow can't be found. How can a ninja student find it? Uchiha Chirin said silently. Hyuga Chen sneered at the corner of his mouth. Uchiha's concealment technique is indeed powerful, but in front of the 360-degree Tenseigan, who has no dead ends, and the observation haki that covers the audience. The hiding technique he is proud of is like a ray of light in the dark night, very conspicuous. Chen, you are. Before Makoto finished speaking, Hyuga Chen stretched out his palm toward Uchiha's hidden direction. Universal pull. Get out of me. The huge pupil power surging in Tenseigan, an extremely gravitational force erupted on Hyuga Chen's palm, and the trees trembled. However, gravity does not directly act on the trees, but on Uchiha Kairan. Uchiha Chirin flew towards Hyuga Chen uncontrollably. Uchiha Kairan felt his body uncontrollably, a little flustered. But after all, it is an elite jonin, and every elite jonin is fought in blood and fire. Soon, he forcibly broke out chakra, turned on 3 Tomo Sharingan, took out Kunai laboriously, adjusted the direction slightly, and stabbed Hyuga Chen with the help of gravity.